All right, as the 2012 campaign starts to kind of creep onto the national stage, I sat down with the man who will now get to try to get President Obama reelected this time. And I asked him if in the beginning of the term, in the heat of the economic crisis, the president was then too tightly surrounded by his inner circle of Chicago advisors, Axelrod, Emanuel, and Jarrett. And I asked him if he thought that was a mistake.
We were very much into the day-to-day details of governing and dealing with that crisis, and sometimes in crisis mode, and sometimes to the detriment of a larger message, and it detracted from the president's ability to speak to those larger things. I think we've done better in the last 60 days, and I feel good about where we are, and understanding that there'll be many challenges ahead. But certainly in the first 2 years, that was a problem.
A lot of changes in the West Wing. Why all those changes now?
Well, first of all, I think it's pretty natural. I think the people who the president is bringing in now are going to make a tremendous contribution. I've known Bill Daley for 30 years. I think he's an incredibly wise, experienced person who will bring tremendous judgment and leadership to the White House. David Plouffe was my partner for years and years and years. He's going to bring a new sense of direction and leadership to the White House. And the economic team, I have deep respect for the people who have come in. I think that they're going to be very cohesive. They're going to provide the president with some fresh perspective.
One person who's looking forward to the change is his wife, Susan Axelrod, who joined us in the interview.
So how do you feel about the fact that your husband is leaving this part of this chapter behind and coming back home to Chicago?
People say to me all the time, how will it be to have him back? And I say, define back, because I don't know quite what that's going to look like. But we've made a lot of adjustments over the last number of years. It seems to be going in these 2-year cycles, and we'll figure it out. And I think it keeps us maybe younger. I'm not sure.
I'm excited that we're talking about going to a movie in the afternoon this week. Yeah. Something we haven't been able to do for a long time. There are lots of simple little things that we haven't been able to do, and I'm just so thrilled to do that. But this is the most remarkable person I know, and I've missed her. So I'm really looking forward to spending more time.
And our viewers got to know your daughter Lauren also. How does she feel about her dad coming back home?
Yeah, she is thrilled.
Every conversation that she ends with, I'm really excited you're coming home, and she really, you can tell she really means it.
Axelrod happy to be back home, but always a BlackBerry message away from the White House.
Think the president's going to miss having you down the hall?
I hope so, because we've been together a long time. Although, you know, part of being together a long time is that you get in each other's grill from time to time, and I'm sure I've gotten on his nerves.
Are you able to walk in and say to him, you're wrong about this?
I'm able to do that. I'm not always able to prevail.
When you talk about the last 60 days, how it feels different now, do you sense a change in him? Is he more confident in his role?
I think he's very secure. He, more than anyone, and anyone who sits in that chair, is aware that events can come that you don't anticipate, that can really change things for the better or worse. And we clearly still have a lot of challenges in front of us,
including what is sure to be a hard-fought re-election battle. And by the way, Axelrod will be in the center of that.
What are you going to be doing exactly?
I'm going to be continuing to advise the president and advise his political operation in the next year. I'll cycle back into my same role as the senior strategist for the campaign. I know that next year is going to be all enveloping.
I want to get your quick impressions of a couple of potential opponents that you might be facing.
All Fox News personalities.
Well, a couple of those, a couple of others. I just picked a couple names off the top of my head. One, because Mitt Romney seems to be at the top of a lot of the polls that I see right now. What do you think about running against Mitt Romney?
He was a formidable governor.
Thank you. Wow.
In fact, you know, many of the elements of our health care plan were derived from his health care plan.
Now, some people in Massachusetts aren't too happy with the...
Actually, it's very popular, though. It's very popular in Massachusetts. I'm sure that he'll be remembered fondly for that in Massachusetts.
All right. What about Sarah Palin?
She's an interesting person. I mean, I don't know. I know she has a robust broadcast career at Fox, and I don't know if she's going to want to give that up. The same with Governor Huckabee, who's a very formidable person, very genial person, someone I personally like. But they have a great platform right now, and I don't know whether they're going to want to give that up.
Would you relish a run against Sarah Palin?
Whoever the Republican Party nominates, we'll show up and we'll have a good debate.
Cynical people who follow politics say, oh, you know, they're already in campaign mode. President Obama knows he needs to catch the independent vote, and you know, people like David Axelrod are heading to Chicago to start this process. Do you feel like you're in campaign mode already?
There's a season for campaigning, and that season isn't upon us yet. What the American people want us to do is take a deep breath, sit down, work through problems. There'll be plenty of time for campaigns, and I'm sure that we'll have a robust one.
You know, that time between campaigns gets shorter and shorter all the time, though, right?
That it does, and it will be robust. Interesting stuff, how he analyzes potential.
Yeah. And right after that, he said, I don't want to get into